In React.js, we use layouts to wrap applications and provide a certain style or script, and we can have several layouts that we apply to our app. So in this lesson, I'm going to start creating a portfolio/web application where we are going to apply 2 different layouts, and I'm going to show you step by step how to set it up, especially with our router. So previously in the source folder on main.jsx, we created a router here with React Router DOM that helps us to display some pages, and we finally got here these pages passing down here on the router. Okay, so here you can't put a header here and just put the navigation because it needs to be wrapped inside a router provider. So we basically need to do it in here directly inside the router browser, and this is where we are going to inject our layout, our main layout. Okay, so I got this home component which is here with hello, and for the need of this course I already created one file, a JSON file with some content. So here there is the name, the position, the description. It's a portfolio, so it's about a web developer that is talking about his social media project and experiences. Okay, so I just grab this as content to go faster. Okay, and I just push all this content into a hero component, which here grab the config with the name, the position, and some style that is applied down there. There's also a subcomponent called social that is looping through the social and applying buttons with icons. It's really easy to do. It's not the topic of this course, so I'm trying to go faster on that. We've got this hero component, and if I go on home and I put this hero component here as a regular component, and we're going to see it right away. I'm going to save that. There we go. We've got our page with this hero component that is appearing here. And just after, what I can do is to type div, this is my main page. All right. The thing is that here, this hero component, we would like to have it always on the top. So probably the first thing that you would do is to put it down here. But as I told you, we can't do that. The solution is to basically create a layout. And we are going to see that we can also inject in this layout the style that we got here. Because if you look at the main.jsx CSS that we got here, if I remove this line, suddenly we don't get any style applied. And we would like to pass instead this index.css directly on the layout. Okay, so I talk too much. Let's pass now to the creation of the layout. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go on my tree file, and I'm going to create a new folder. This is not mandatory, but I want to store my layout here in layout. So I'm going to type main layout.jsx, and I'm going to create this new layout. So basically a layout it's basically a JSX component that will here display all the routes that we're going to pass through. So if you are not using the React DOM, you can of course use the children and pass your routes as children down here. Me, I'm using React Router DOM from Remix, so I need to grab a special function called outlet, and special component, sorry, not function. Outlet will help me to display all the routes here. So I can just pass outlet here, and there we go. On my layout, I will have all the routes that I want to show. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to come back to main.jsx, and this is where I need to do some changes, okay? So here on the main page, we got the component home. And this component home is the page that is displayed just here. Instead of that, I'm going to call main layout. I'm going to pass main layout, and I'm going to save. And suddenly we can see that nothing is happening. I'm just going to remove that. And there is no route that passes to it. This is normal. This is because here we just pass the main layout. However, if I put hero, my component hero, remember, coming from where? Well, coming from my components. So I'm just going to go grab the component here /hero, and I'm going to save. Suddenly, we've got here our hero on the top. And if I put a footer, let's say I'm going to put a footer, this is main layout. We can see that I got my footer down here. Okay, so Every time I'm going to change my root, just outlet is going to be changed by the component we're going to push through the router just now. And then there will still be the hero and the footer. Okay, so how do we pass components directly to this root? Well, here on the main layout, what I'm going to do is to type children. Okay, and here I can pass new roots that will grab as a prefix the path that is up here. I could do it indefinitely, okay? For every root, I could put some children. But so here, what I want to do is to say, hey, the main path, so the first path, which is empty, here I'm going to put element, and I want to pass home. And remember, home, it's the component that we got in the roots. So here, I'm just going to pass home. And there we go, we've got suddenly home. But the problem is that now on home, we've got the hero, but we already got a hero on the layout up here. So I can remove that. And there we go. We've got our hero plus this is the main page, which comes from actually home. And I can just check that by typing bgred 500 here. And we can see that nothing's happening. Nothing's happening because there is no CSS style apply and Tailwind is not imported. What we want to do, we don't want to put the CSS here in home. We want to do it in the main layout. So I'm going to go to the main layout and I'm going to type import, okay. And I'm going to go grab my index.css and you will see suddenly that the style has changed. Because here on this layout, here, I basically have index.css, which have some style into it. That is applied. And if I put here, instead of BG white, I'm going to put BG red 500, suddenly the style is applied to the layout, but also to the subroots where outlet are displaying root. So outlet here, it's your router. This is where all the pages are going to be displayed. Okay, so now I got this layout, I can apply some custom style. And I can use Tailwind CSS. So here I can put here some space here, maximum width, the grid, the gap, etc., etc. That is related basically to this layout. And we can see that in this layout, basically, there is some style that is applied. If I hide index.css, the style is going to be removed, okay? So we can see here that the style has been removed, which means that if I create a new layout, and this is what we're going to do now. If I create a new layout, I can probably apply a new style. Okay? So what I can do here, it's really easy. It's just to copy paste this main layout. And instead, I'm going to call it Satoshi layout. Okay? I'm going just to save that. And I'm going to put Satoshi layout, all right? So now I got this Satoshi layout, I can probably apply a different style and probably inject different components, but we are going to see that just now. Okay, so I got here Satoshi layout, and I would like to create a specific style for this Satoshi layout. So I'm going to externalize another file which will be called the Satoshi CSS. So here, under my source folder, I put it here for you to have visibility on the files, but you could easily put it somewhere else into the assets or whatever. Let's say that here on Satoshi, I would have a different font and I would have also a different basically background, okay? So we can see here that I'm using a specific font that I apply everywhere and we are good. Okay, the last thing that I need to do is to call Satoshi.css instead of index.css. So I'm going to call Satoshi.css directly. And now I can come back to my main.js. And instead of using main layout, I can use Satoshi layout. And I'm going to save. And suddenly, this is a total different application. So as you can see here, I changed the style of my entire application just with one file, one layout with its own style. But that's not the only thing you can do. Basically, with a layout, a specific layout here, you could have, for instance, a specific header. So here I will write, this header is only visible on Satoshi layout. And if I save, we've got that. If I come back and I change again the layout, let's say it's going to be main layout, we don't see the header because we don't call main layout anymore. Now I'm going to come back on Satoshi layout. There we go, we've got our Satoshi layout. Okay? Now we've got that. Probably we could have, for instance, a new route, a new page. And for that, we will need to write this page or to create a link for it. So in terms of navigation here, I can use link coming directly from React, but here it's better to use link coming from the React router DOM. It's going to be better here. I'm going to have my link, and I would have a secret page. Let's say that we're going to call it secret room. Here, access secret room. Okay, this page doesn't exist. I need to create it. And in order to do so, I need to create a new route. So I'm just going to remove that. I'm just going to open here my routes, and I'm going to have a secret room.jsx. There we go. And I'm going to initiate it. Hello secret room. There we go. We've got our route ready. Now what I need to do is to come back on main.jsx. And I need down there, inside my here element, having the secret here, because remember, on Satoshi layout, we push to the path secret. And instead, I'm going to call here secret room. So I need to import secret room directly from my root. So I'm going to have secret room and secret room in here. So let me check if it's the right one. There we go. So now I got secret room. I'm going to click on it. And there we go, we've got the secret room access just under my hero that we got here on the top. Let's switch again. Let's pass from the Satoshi layout to the main layout, and I'm gonna save. And here we can see that I still got access to the secret page. Why? Because here, the only thing that I'm doing, basically, is to change the layout. But the layout doesn't apply to routes. If you declare the route in here, it will be accessible, right? Be safe on that kind of mistake. A lot of juniors are doing this kind of mistake. Probably if you would like to have a secret page or a secret room, you would like to do something before when you enter the route on an authentication level or a middleware level. That's really cool. Now we know how layouts are working. We can apply different styles, but also, I didn't told you before, here you can still write all the JavaScript that you want. Importing scripts, fetching some data, whatever. These layouts helps you to define, basically, two different environment for the same application, okay? So basically, I'm talking about environment, but it's just coding space where you got styles, specific JavaScript functions that you would like to display. Those two layouts are basically what we can call themes, but we can also use providers to push themes directly to your app, but we are going to see that in a next lesson.